Front grills. One of the most overlooked aspects of a car design in my opinion. Some look great, some don't. And some really don't. Like, really don't. Let's go over some of my least favorite grills and favorite grills, but first, let's have a look at why they're getting so weird. For some reason, car manufacturers believe it's very futuristic to put a massive front grille on a car. Throughout the past couple of years, we have seen an explosion in vehicles that ditch a normal or relatively normal sized front grille and adopt a new, big, and always plastic grille. Who's to blame for this, you may ask? Who's to blame for this gimmick and design that's getting really tired out and boring? It's Lexus. Lexus sort of did this. As you probably don't know, I am a massive Lexus fan. I've always thought that they have some of the best cars of the past and of the modern day. They make the most reliable cars every single year, and their engines will probably outlive humanity itself. Now, when I say they have the best cars of the past, I do mean it. The IS, ES, GS, and LS are all incredible looking vehicles. Yet, around the coming of the 2010s, Lexus was looking into changing things up a bit. Their vehicles had the same look for quite a while at the time, and it was time to redo every design they had. Now, mind how these old car grills look. They turned into this. Yeah, kinda baffling. And this design has lasted into 2024, with the grills getting even larger and larger. Now, let's get into some of the better looking designs and some of the worst, shall we? Honda, I don't even think has ever made an ugly car, ever. Their grills are a definition of perfect. That's all I got for you, Honda. Thanks for being so great. I love Mazda. I think Mazda is just cool. Sort of in the way I feel Honda used to present themselves, I think Mazda is the more mature version of that. In fact, I just recently almost purchased a 2021 Mazda 3 hatchback. I mean, look at this thing. Mazda has been making some of the best looking cars for a while now, and their grills have gotten pretty damn big. But it works. Mazda knows how to design their cars in a way that everything seems to flow. Almost like the logical conclusion to each angle in this car leads to the grille, and it looks great. With time, I think this generation of Mazda design will be remembered very, very fondly. Toyota design is bizarre to me. How come they can sometimes nail so many designs, like the previous generation of Camry and Corolla, but then make something like this? I don't really get it. The grills on these Toyotas have gotten so big. Why? It's not like these engines need this much cooling. Hell, how much cooling does a hybrid engine really even need? These grills make the cars look so cheap, and trust me, Toyotas are not cheap in any way. Why make something like this? Japanese companies love wide grills, but let's check out some other countries' front grills, shall we? Oh, BMW, where do I even begin? How did they manage to ruin one of the most timeless design philosophies ever? The new generation at BMW looks horrible, plain and simple. Hell, I'd argue that BMW has ruined their image, really. But oh my, these grills. They're supposed to be flat, not tall. To add insult to injury, my dad calls these things tomater cars. Shame on you, BMW. Enjoy the new M5 though, if it doesn't sink into the core of the earth. To be brutally frank, Audi is like Mazda for me. The grills are big, but damn, they make it work. Maybe it's because I love Audi car design, or because the logo looks great. I mean, come on. Tell me this isn't amazing. I hate SUVs, except for the delectable pastries Audi bakes for the world to see. Wish they didn't grenade themselves after a month of purchase though. Boy am I conflicted. I have to admit, I've never really noticed the front ends of Mercedes. I'll be honest, they're kind of bland. So bland that I've decided that I don't love it. It looks alright on a few sedans, but damn man, it's all so mid. Mid is a fantastic word to describe Mercedes. The design is just mid. The grills, even more mid. Do better, Mercedes. Every single year y'all somehow fall in reliability, but hey, as Tomater once wisely said, if there ain't no oil under 'em, there ain't no oil in 'em. Ford. The best American car manufacturer, and I won't hear any other argument. But there's one big problem, or I should say car-sized problem. Ford makes like 7 cars. That's it. Not a single sedan anymore either. So let's check out some Ford grills, shall we? And again, just like with Mercedes, I am conflicted. I like some at first glance, but once my eyes adjust, Maybe I just think the Ford logo looks good on anything, but they're either massive or barely existing slits in plastic. Ford design is the epitome of hit or miss. That new Mustang looks pretty good though, can't lie. Oh, GM. Boy, do I hate General Motors. If there was a brand based off of the most bland, tasteless, boring hunks of metal, it would be GM. And man, do their grills scream blah. They don't catch my eye in any way, which isn't a good thing. There are many brands under the dull corporate umbrella of GM. Let's speed through these, cause damn, GM is so sucky. Besides for the Silverado, I don't really love any of the grills here. They're, like I said before, bland. Chevrolet has had a lot of problems with their cars and trucks in the past decade. A lot of electrical issues from what I've heard. Chevy is okay. I think the Silverado is great, like I said, but nothing else. GMC. The gay man Chevy. Why do you even exist? Who even buys a GMC? What's the point of having a mid-tier luxury brand between Chevrolet and Cadillac? Anyways, GMC front grills are lame as hell. Everything I said about Chevy can be said about GMC. Okay, I have to admit, I like Cadillac a lot. I would do unspeakable things for a CT5 Blackwing. Anyway, while the grills are kinda blocky, the rest of the car looks good, so I'll let it fly. Cadillac is awesome, one of the only things that GM has actually managed to succeed in. Good job, GM, but not really. I've seen like 3 Buicks in the past year. I don't know if I can do this anymore, so I'm just gonna go quickly on Buick. From what I've heard from Buick, these are massive in China. In fact, Buick is one of the something like best performing car brands in China, and I mean, they're kind of nice looking cars. I could see them performing well here if they, I don't know, made more cars, but apparently Buick is a completely different company in China. They make like lots of cars, including a minivan, so I don't know. Now, I forgot that Korea is actually having a booming car industry at the moment, and I'm just gonna speed through those real quick. I gotta admit, I think Kia front ends are still pretty ugly. Kia has never really managed to make a great looking car, besides for the Kia Stinger in my opinion, but man, do you see a lot of Kias these days, at least in Texas. I don't mind Kia. I think they're good cars. They definitely look better than they used to, and it is a completely different brand than it was only a decade ago. So good on Kia for closing the gap on that mid-tier car market. Man, am I tired. Front grills have been weird. They seem to be getting bigger and bigger. This is one of the most common car trends today, after all. But overall, I don't mind the whole big grill thing. Some are better than others. Much better. Thank you so much for watching.